David Roche, strategist at Quantum Strategy, joining us. David, pleasure having you. Give us your perspective. The US 10-year bond yield closer to 4.5 now. What is your take? Because equity markets don't seem to be pricing that in. That is at least broadly what most strategists are saying. What's your take?
Well, I'd hate to say what most strategists are saying, but I would say a couple of things all the same. The first thing, you have to remember that most US investors diversify within America. They are buying equities because they think that having Microsoft manage their money is better than having Scott Bessent and the US Treasury and Trump manage their money. So in a sense, that's why the equity market is moving differently to the bond market. Now, to answer your question on the bond market, I think that the US 30-year yields, I want to focus right on the long end because that's where the damage is being done. US 30-year yields today are pretty well at 5%. My feeling would be we will see them at 6% probably before the end of the year, which is a massive increase. And the reason that will happen is two reasons. Number one, the US exceptionalism idea, whereby everybody, private investors and states and central banks, automatically put their surplus dollars to work in US treasuries, that is over because it's just too dangerous an economy and things are too uncertain. The second reason why this is going to, why US long bond yields are going to increase dramatically is because the budget arithmetic announced by Trump is fatal. You're going to add approximately, in my view, 1.8 to 2% to an already 7%, 6.77% budget deficit, which is really going to put pressure on getting that funded. It will have to be funded domestically because the dollars to fund it will no longer be pumped out by the US through the current account deficit. So the savings have to come out of domestic savings. And that will increase domestic savings by 4% of GDP, which requires high interest rates to achieve that. And of course, the higher savings rate means lower growth. The final reason is because tariffs, you're just seeing the beginning, but tariffs are going to they're going to edge up towards a 20% average tariff rate, effective tariff rate, and they're going to increase inflation by 2 to 3%, which the long bond is not going to assume is temporary. They leave the temporary business to the people in the Fed. That's the answer.
Okay, David, in all of this that's playing out, and you spelled it out really well, how do you view India, if at all you have a view?
Look, I think India is kind of good because it's not so dependent on international trade, and it does appear to have dodged Trump bullets by being relatively compliant and friendly. And Trump needs a deal somewhere. I mean, most of his deals have never been published, like, for instance, Vietnam and what's going on in China. There's no written record at all of any of this, so we really don't know. But he needs another big deal, which he can proclaim a deal. The only way he can get that is India. So that's the good news. The bad news is, of course, if you come down to a confrontation between Trump and Putin after 50 days, and he puts 100% tariffs on Russian oil and on secondary tariffs on exports of countries that use Russian oil, then India would get hit really hard. So it's Yao Chi Yao Wai, sorry to say that in Cantonese, but it's more or less my second language. There are advantages and disadvantages in India. The good things is they've got themselves in a good geopolitical place cuddling up to Trump. The bad thing is if Trump picks a fight with Putin, then there are knock-on effects for India's use of Russian oil.
Okay, David, thank you so much for coming in, giving us that perspective. That's the worldview coming in from David Roche. Have a great day, David. We'll let you go.